Hello YouTubies, I'm Grant, this is the garage, this is Granty's garage, and in this video we're going to show you how to replace the ignition switch on a Porsche 986. I'm going to show you the harder, quick way for most people, and I'm going to show you the easier, long way. So two ways of doing this, because there are various things that you might run into if you are a person with arms. As the ignition switch is connected to so many different circuits, there could be a whole host of symptoms that you might have one or multiple of that are indicating that the switch is on its way out. You can have things like an intermittent no crank or start. You can have the radio staying on after you've taken the key out, which would cause a drain. You could have windows dropping, not dropping when they're supposed to. You could have a whole host of other electrical gremlins where things are intermittently working. Wipers, horn, alarm control elements, heaters, pretty much anything that needs to know the car is on, because that is the switch that tells the circuits in the fuse board you're allowed to be on now, in essence. So if you've got any of those, this might be a part worth looking at. There's a range of parts that you could buy, both aftermarket and original. Prices range from anywhere between about £13 to, well, a couple of hundred. Choose your poison. But we're going to run through now how to go and do that job in two different ways, so that if you get stuck doing the first one, which is the quickest way to do it, which is sometimes the easiest, then you've got a plan B. For the quicker but more difficult way to do this job, you will need a little hook type device like this and a very short flathead screwdriver. For the easier but longer way to do this job, you will need a T20 Torx, whatever you spin it with, probably an extension, Phillips screwdriver, get his permission first, flathead screwdriver, get his permission too, a 24mm socket and a spinner for it, and a very small flathead screwdriver. You'll also want your trusty 10mm just for disconnecting the battery. Whichever option you go for, first thing you want to do, disconnect the battery. The trick with some of these, in terms of like, if you're playing with certain stuff, put the key in the ignition, turn it to ignition point 1, and then disconnect the battery, particularly if you get like alarm chirps and shouts like that. For this job, we are then going to go and take the key out, do the work we need to do, and then we're going to put it back in before we reconnect the battery. And remember, if you've got the electric release, put something here if you're going to close the bonnet, the hood, while you do this job. We are going to start with the quicker, but for a lot of people more difficult way, and then move on. It will make more sense, and then move on to the easier, longer way of doing this. This part is going to be very, very difficult to film. I will show you in a second, but we're going to remove one piece from here that doesn't even require tools, and then we have access to what we need to. Sort of. If you've got any idea what we're talking about with this job, you'll understand why I said it that way. So let me show you this piece, and I'll show you me taking it out. Apologies, because the access for filming is difficult. This is part of the problem with doing it this way. The only guy in our way is this. And whilst I might attempt to do it one-handed, I'm probably going to drop the camera doing so, because I can't even get my mount in here. You just need to use the concertina in it and push the two parts together, and eventually it will make space. Yeah, I'm not going to do this with one hand. So let me stick the camera in the mount. You're not going to see much of this because I'm going to be in the way of it, but we're just going to push those two bits together. The concertina will close and then it will come out of position. Oh, that was fun. This is the piece. You can see you could get some squash on the concertina in there. A little bit of a wiggle, but no tools required to get him out. It's going to go in the opposite way, obviously. Deliberately starting the camera here to give you some perspective. There's outside. Coming in, this is the guy that we're after. There's an electrical connector here, and you'll see between these metal parts, there's a little plastic part that's actually part of the ignition switch. And in here, and the other side is a little grub screw, and ultimately they're all that's holding it in. The connector's not too much work, we'll get that off in a second, but these little grub screws are very difficult to work with. You can see I don't have massive hands. I'm going to struggle still to get any tool on there and provide the torque to turn it. So we'll look at the options for that in a second. But fundamentally we get that clip off and we undo those and then he's out. And that's literally this job. But this is the difficult part. And that's why this way is not always best for some people, because they just literally don't have space for their arm to be in here. My elbow's on the floor. So I'm not a big guy. Now you will forgive the camera work here. This is the weirdest position I've been in for a while. You can see this purple part at the top's got these little connectors or grabbers, and there are 4 of them. So this is where having anything like a hook tool becomes really useful, because you can put that in angles your hand cannot get and lever them out. The tedious part of this is you will find you'll lever off one of those and it will reset the other side. So do the hardest ones to get to first, and then try and keep them away while you do the easier ones. And then you just pull the plug off the back, and here's the guy we're going after. So to complete this job, effectively all we do now is, if I can move this out of the way, we'd undo the grub screw that's there and the one that's there, and then we'd back this out and we'd swap it for the other one and we'd do the reverse. But because I can't really show you that, and that's the bit that makes this super difficult, I'm not going to do it this way. I'm going to go and show you the other way to access this, and we'll do it that way because I might have half a chance of filming that. But ultimately that's the whole job here done then, if you can get success undoing them from there, obviously without looking at them.
For this job you will need awesome Granty's Garage first piece of merch, Granty's Garage Boxster sticker, available on the link below.
Now I'm going to show you the easier, longer way to do this. The tool set is slightly different.
First thing we're going to want to do is, because we're going to go through the vent, we want to remove these 2 screws here. These are T20 Torx. Keep those safe. We then need to remove the headlight switch. You pull it forwards. There's a very small hole at the bottom that you use the flathead screwdriver for. There's a very small metal retaining clip. You only have to press it gently. The whole switch comes out. I'll show you this now it's off. If we can find the camera. Where are we? Ooh. This is the bottom of the switch here. If it will focus. Push it in nice and gently. And that will release the whole switch. Keep him safe. You've then got a 24mm nut on the front of the switch, which shouldn't be on there very tight. It's just weirdly massive. You take him off. We now need to get the T20 that's in this little hole. Once you've removed that nut, you can actually remove this surround piece, which makes getting to it a hell of a lot easier. There are circuits in here. Don't pull it too hard. It's on a wire. This is why you want the extension, just so you've got the space to work this. Now, everything should be loose for this to come out. You've got a few places where you can put your fingers to get some purchase, but you've just got to wiggle it and it will start to come. There we go. Be careful because there are wires still attached to that headlight switch. You can move it forwards and then we can go and disconnect those. Some of these have seen better days. You can see the insulation has started to deteriorate on these ones, but we're getting closer to where we need to go, and I likely need to move the camera now. Okay. Borrowing Phillips screwdriver. Hopefully you can see this last bit of vent here. There's a Phillips screw in that, which if we undo, long screwdriver is very helpful for this. Fortunately, none of that needs to be like crazy tight or is really difficult. Expect this screw to probably fall on the floor. Yep. And then that last piece of vent is now out of the way. That's all access. So we can now get our hand in here and we can get to those 2 grub screws a lot easier. And I will try my best to show you that. Right, looking in the vent, because there is no way I can film this and do it because of where my hand needs to be. Now you'll see just above my finger there, I actually got the first one out slightly because you have to, I mean this one's original so it's still got the little mark stuff on it. Don't know what that is, some sort of Loctite maybe. They're not very tight. It's nice as you can see, it's a flat head. And I just put the little screwdriver in there, scraped a bit of that stuff off, found the slot, just started turning. It's nice and loose. So I will go and do the rest. Now this is the benefit of doing it this way. You see, I'm right-handed, fortunately. Going in, there's enough space to kind of work this, and I'll show you what I'm using. A very short screwdriver, which is very helpful to have for this. You can get away with a ratchet, the little ones, because you've got enough space kind of each side, but I find it easier to turn them backwards, which I'll try and demonstrate. Bear with, because I had to get the ratchet. I'm now left-hand filming. Put the ratchet in backwards like this, and you could sort of see, I can't do this and film, but you can sort of see there's just enough space in there to get that going. So you can do it like those. So I'm going to undo those and then slide the switch out. You'll now see that they are both backed out, and I'm going to attempt to show you. First of all, top tip, don't take them all the way out because it will be difficult to get them back in. Don't know if I'm not going to be able to reach it that way, so I'll have to reach through. So forgive the wobbly cam. There we go. Old one retrieved. And the problem with it clearly was it was just always out of focus. Just back over at the bench for a second, just to put some credibility in the videos I made about avoiding Porsche tax. This is probably the original, judging by the red bits, but that's not a Porsche badge. So you don't need to go and pay Porsche tax for one of these. It is a Volkswagen Audi part. I think it shares these with the Mark IV Golf. You can see here we've got these little divots, which is where those screws, those little grub screws go into. There is a little bit of grease on it. That's pretty normal. But it shouldn't be like kind of leaking. That's because I've been touching it. And we're going to go and simply replace the old one with a new one. They can only go one way round, thankfully. So this is a job you do a lot by feel and not by what you can see. So he's going to go in the bin. He's going to go in the car. And then we will put everything back together. The reinstallation is a reverse of everything we've just done. I have to go and reverse the 2 ways round that we've done it. If you are a contortionist, you might be able to get your hand round and work it out that way. You don't need to take out the vent. If you're sane, you would probably prefer to go through the vent, even though it's a bit more work. It makes the job a lot easier. You can look at what you're doing. And one thing that I found that was absolutely quite by accident is a little square side entrance just down the side of the vent there. My little light that I use for small spaces fits in there perfectly. So you definitely want a torch for this one as well. I'm gonna put this car back together. I'll see you in a second. Car is back together, battery is reconnected. The reason we did this was because the key was actually sticking, and to me it felt more like it was the bit at the back than the barrel. Oh, much better. So that would be problem solved, and in this case maybe some further preventative maintenance anyway. If you enjoyed that video, please give the video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, if you're still here, of course. Also, if you've got one of these cars, it's worth subscribing to the channel. We've got a full playlist that we're ever expanding in. That's the DIY library. How to do these jobs, how to do them at home, what you'll actually run into, plan B and C, if you need them after plan A sometimes. Just want to help more people feel more prepared to actually be able to do these jobs themselves. The whole ethos of this is that for the value of these cars now, some of the charges for the labour to do some of these jobs is a significant proportion of what the car's worth. So it causes a lot of people to then fall out of love with them and eventually move them on, and eventually they just don't get looked after. And they're fantastic cars. Subscribe to the channel. If you want to help out a bit more than any of that, you're obviously more than welcome to become a YouTube member. Starts from as little as £1 a month. Just lets us do more on the channel faster. And indeed, because they look really cool, go and get one of our stickers linked below. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.